Hey there. So I want to talk about something really quickly. And I was listening to a lady who was commenting on so-called black mothers who are, frustrated with their sons. And I just want to bring up one part that she just said. People speak of their own experiences. I don't really, when people talk about their experiences, I don't really criticize or say anything. But what I do want to say is that she said that it takes a black woman and a black man to make a black child. And that's where I was inspired to start this right here. Well, yeah, to make a male. And I'm going to talk about the virgin birth too. But I have this pointed on parthenogenesis to discuss what that is, right? And let me see if I can get it close. It says, but anyway, I'm going to read it. To reproduce, by definition, means to produce a new offspring. The process is referred to as reproduction, which is one of the features of a living thing. It is a means to maintain a species. There are two types of reproduction, sexual and asexual. So parthenogenesis is asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. It was a time in a higher frequency before we came down to this particular consciousness, low consciousness, where a male is required, a sperm is required to have children, but it was a time when sperm was not required. Okay? There are two types of reproduction, sexual and asexual reproduction. I know you can't see that, but I'm reading it. In biology, sexual reproduction is defined as a mode of reproduction wherein a gamete containing only one set of chromosomes, haploid. Okay? It combines with other gamete to form a diploid offspring. Okay. So I don't want to go into all of that. I just wanted to just talk about parthenogenesis, where it is that is particular that's asexual reproduction. Okay. Now I want to parthenogenesis is a form of asexual reproduction by self-impregnation, resulting in the production of a zygote from an unfertilized egg. Right, from an unfertilized egg. Thus, it is also referred to by many as a virgin birth. Virgin birth. Now, so when I talk about in the name of Jesus, obviously I say it when I think of it mostly as Christ consciousness and the aspect of myself to get into a higher state of consciousness, you know. But also when they talk about this story also in the Bible, when they talk about a virgin birth, they have this masculine father God who um who basically impregnates this woman and she gives birth to a son. Okay, so that's why some people don't even believe in a virgin birth. But if you understand parthenogenesis, and if it was told probably correctly, we would see that it's another female that she might have given birth to. So the thing I said the Bible is the living word. I feel the Bible is the living word, but I also realized that a lot of scriptures from the Bible was taken from different timelines, different from different worlds that existed previously, and definitely revelations. A lot of the revelations came from the Sibyls. Okay, and so I don't really pay attention to a lot of the characters and the characters' names. I try not to. I don't take that too seriously, but I do know that there's a lot of truth in there, and it's really made up of codes. But anyway, parthenogenesis takes place in both asexual animals and plants. In animals, the embryo develops from an unfertilized egg. Okay, I want to read this really quickly. Hey there, butterfly. The last shall be first. Hello. Okay, let's look up this. All okay, let's see. Virgin birth. Is there a such? I'm just typing something in. You got to be careful the information you take in this particular realm. This realm is pretty much dominated by masculine, and it's a hatred. It's not almost, it's a literal hatred for the feminine, and a lot of feminine females have been viciously attacked. Okay, so I just typed in, is there such thing as virgin birth? And the answer is yes. A virgin birth, also known as parthenogenesis, is a process that can occur in some animals where an egg develops into an embryo without. The offspring of a virgin birth are genetically similar to their mother, but are not exact clones and are always female. The offspring of a virgin birth are genetically similar to their mother, but are not exact clones and are always female. They're always female. Okay. Uh. Okay. Hello, slime queens. Also, what are thoughts on dark masculine comedy? I don't really have any thoughts on that. I'm gonna tell you something. I know in this particular round, I'm gonna tell you something. I feel like I'm just living in this world, but I'm not of it. So for me, the only one I know is the mother. I just know of the cosmic mother, and I just know that in the beginning it was basically female, and this this is this is what I'm going to say. This is some of the things that have come to me. In the beginning, that was mostly female. I don't know where these entities came from. I don't know what happened, but somehow these women, they weren't called women at the time. There's women are called women under this type of frequency, but they weren't necessarily called women. I'm not sure what they were called, but something happened where they came across these other two entities, which could be considered now. They could look like black male in this type of reality, and I don't know what happened that they were tricked, but somehow they have felt they fell in frequency. They fell in frequency, and they were no longer able to give reproduce themselves without the help of sperm. That's just how much they fell in frequency. So when it comes to this masculine and feminine, really to me, I just here's my thing with the masculine. I feel like the masculine is an illusion. I'm just gonna say that. Yeah. I feel like the masculine is an illusion. There was, yeah, I feel like the masculine is an illusion. And this is not to discredit and put down other men, but you even heard, well, I don't know if I've even heard Bobby Hemmett say, really, we're all females. I've heard men say that we're just all females. And the Y is a mutated X. Really, so it's really all come from the same source, you know. Um, and that's why when you hear a lot of people talk about a lot of things and stuff, and I don't really get into it. I just stick to with the truth and with the great mother and stuff like that. I don't really get into all these different stuff because really this is just they're all females. Here's the thing: the mother wanted to experience herself. And so she was perfect, and she wanted to experience all aspects of herself. So actually, I just feel like everything that we are seeing are still all aspects of the mother because she wanted to experience all aspects of herself. You know. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I feel like black males are a lot of black males that we see today are a separate species from black women, and I feel like black women have been used as a portal for these entities to come through. Um, there was this lady, I forget her name, it was years ago, but I forget, it's like she called herself the Sybils something, Sybils, the Sybils. And so she talked about how she knew that she understood that she gave birth to a demon. She understood that her son was a demon. Now I'm not saying every um man with brown skin is in that category, but majority of the black men that we see, especially in the United States of America and really around the world, it's just no in my opinion, there's no reconciliation. I mean, in Africa, when they want to mutilate these women and cut off their clitoris, and it was a book I had years ago that I read. The purpose of them cutting off the clitoris was to keep them from communicating, basically to keep them from communicating with God. And who was God? It's not the masculine God, right? So when you see a lot of males that do these type of things to women, I don't feel like there's any reconciliation. I feel like there's a problem there. And for me, these women who were originally, now I keep calling them women because that's the way I talk here, but they weren't called women. That's what you call people. We call people women in this particular frequency, in this low vibration. But um, I just don't. What I want to know is what happened to cause them to fall. Like if they could only perceive of themselves and nothing else, what could have come to trick them? And I know, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna be honest, they weren't humans. In my estimation, reptilians. Reptilians. I'm gonna tell you everything I saw. Because I know where I came from. We existed before we came into this human body. We existed before we were a human. We were something else. I am shown the time of reptilians, but not the reptilians that people want to demonize. Well, actually, the reptilians people want to demonize today really are the black people. But the reptilians that are running this thing that people want to think that's white, for me, I seen as black men that come from a different consciousness or a different planet, and that Malachi Z. York talked about quite a bit. I don't watch a lot of his I haven't watched a lot of his videos, but I've heard people talk about him. And Malachi Z. York talked about this place that he comes from quite a bit, and they coming to take him back. And that place that Malachi Z. York come from is the place a lot of these black men come from. It's the place that a lot of these black men come from. And so basically, when you talk about parthenogenesis, during that time, from what I see, they were pretty much reptilian, like dinosaurs. And but they like higher, much higher in intelligence, because to be in a human form is a very low, it's a low type of existence. So actually that particular life was like it's like a land without time. Like time didn't exist. So that was actually a much state of higher state of being than being a human. The humanism is a lower state of being. It's like the lowest level of the soul. That's what I heard one person explain. It's the lowest level of the soul. But from what I've seen, we were, not all of us, but reptilian. And what I seen was, I don't know if we were living in harmony or what happened, but it's another group of savage reptilians that came in that we know now as black men. um Savage group of reptilians that came in. I don't know what happened, because like I got to get my memories back to see what actually happened. I don't know if we can find it in the book somewhere, but I haven't found it. If I do, it's going to cost about $10,000. But see, I'm not going to spend that kind of money, because all I got to do is raise my doggone frequency and tap in, and that's what I'm working on right now. That's why sometimes I stay quiet and I don't get into the mess that's going on, like the stuff with Joe Biden and dropping out, and now Kamala, excuse me, her name is Kamala Harris. And a lot of stuff that's going on, I can't get into it. Um, I don't, I don't get into it because I know it's an illusion. I know it's all an illusion, and I try not to give more energy than I have to an illusion. Yeah, they were in a much higher frequency as well. Yeah, the reptilians. There are some very nasty reptilians that's controlling things now. And I know people want to demonize reptilians, and so because you have a group of very evil reptilians that's controlling things, then people want to demonize all reptilians. But you got to realize there was a time before humans existed, and they were reptiles and much higher in frequency and intelligence, and a much higher level of the soul than a human was. And so, but they demonize reptilians because, for the most part, reptilians are so-called black people, and so they got to turn black people against who they are. you know, um, the but I just feel like something happened during that time where that particular land was invaded by some other vicious reptilians that were not the same as these other groups of reptilians. These other groups of vicious reptilians that came in, I don't know if they were about to. I don't know if they were about to go extinct or what happened. This other group of reptilians I'm talking about that they fooled, they were female. And these other group of reptilians, I don't know where they came from. I don't know if they were about to be non-existent. They were about to go extinct. I don't know what happened to them, but for some reason they had to invade this land of this feminine. Well, they were reptilians, dinosaurs, but they were feminine. Okay. I don't know what happened that they had to invade this. I don't know. They had to pull a wool over them. They had to trick them. I don't know how they did that. But something happened during that time to get us to where we are now. So it was before we were human beings. It was really when a lot of us were reptilians. I know some people say they were cosmic beings. I don't really see. For me, I don't know a whole lot about that too. I will say this: the cosmic beings. There was a realm where, okay, like right now, like we think that we are sitting in our room, whether it's at work or whether it's in our house or wherever it is. But there is a realm that is right next to us that if the veil comes down, we're going to see a person sitting right next to us and we're going to say, where the heck you come from, right? But right now we can't see it. But there's another dimension that's right where I am right now, but I can't see it. And if a veil comes down where I can see them, I'm like, what the heck you doing in my room? What you doing? What you doing in my house? And so this is happening. What I know about the cosmic beings is what I know about the cosmic beings is the cosmic beings and the reptiles, the dinosaurs or whoever, they existed in kind of like um a similar plane, but in different dimensions. You know how a person, you know how people pass away and they still on the earth plane, but they in a different dimension where you don't where you don't see each other. So this is what happened with the cosmic beings and the reptiles, and something happened with the cosmic beings. Now, Bobby Hemmett told this story, so I'm going to give credit to him. Bobby Hemmett told this story, and he said something happened with the cosmic beings where I don't know where they were no longer able to hide themselves, and they started clashing with the reptiles because now they were able to see each other. Okay, right? They were able to see each other, and so something happened where they had a disagreements with each other, and the according to Bobby Hemmett, he said the cosmic beings blew him up. He blew everything up. But that's what I'm saying. I want to get access to this information because I don't really know the full story of this, but from what I've been shown, because it relates to me. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, that I don't know how well the cosmic beings really relate to me for who I am originally, and who I am originally, I'm not. I don't come from that. Um, what I've been shown is there was a time during harmony where there was a group of reptiles who existed who were able to give birth to themselves. I just don't know where this other group of reptiles came from. Like they were some nefarious reptiles, and they're the masculine. They're considered the masculine now. But this other group of reptiles that I'm familiar with, it's more feminine. And this other reptiles, how they got in, I don't know. How they invaded it, I don't know. Somehow they were able to pull a wool over the eyes. I don't know how they were able to fool them, but they were. And ever since then, we've kind of come down to this level. And a lot of those nefarious reptiles we see as today are black men, and they come from the place that Malachi Z. York say that he comes from. Okay, and so yeah, I just wanted to really just talk about. I just really wanted to just talk about parthenogenesis only because I heard this woman say that it takes a black woman and a black man to have a black child, and that's not necessarily true, but you would believe that in this particular type of frequency, in this low frequency, it probably would take the sperm, you know, in a low frequency, but that wasn't always the case. Now I want to play this. Let me go to, I'm gonna play this before I go. I'm trying to see if I can get to my videos. And I'm gonna go after this. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm trying to read. Some black women content creator has said that black women should vote Democrat and Kamala Harris because she worried about, I said this, a lot of black women that I see today, um, and I'm not talking about this content creator. I'm talking about a lot of black women that I've come across today. They appear to be succubuses. They have been succubuses in my life. Okay. I'm gonna say right now, I don't trust Kamala. I don't trust Kamala, but I don't trust Trump either. I don't trust none of them, but I certainly ain't gonna trust no Kamala because she is supposedly a black woman. Because what is Kamala? Her mother is Indian. Here we go with the Indian frequencies again. You know, they did this with Obama. Obama don't relate to no black Americans because his mother is Jewish, wasn't it? And and his father is supposedly African. But Kamala's mother, I believe, is an Indian woman. Kamala Harris' parents is Shamala. Her mother's name is Shayamala Gopala. That's an Indian name. Her mother's Indian. Let me go to the nationality again. So I don't. We're looking at these Indian frequencies again, and when Donald Trump chose his what's his vice president VD Vance and his wife, she an Indian woman. I don't trust that. I don't trust Kamala. I've uploaded some videos talking about how a woman nose. I saw her nose grow like Pinocchio, and I'm not talking about Kamala. I'm talking about this prophet that's on YouTube, and she has a decent sized channel, a nice sized channel. And I'm not talking about Sister Carrie Ann, but she has said a few prophecies about Kamala Harris and a few prophecies about Obama and America and all of that stuff. And I said that I definitely said that I saw that. I don't think that she's lying about her prophecies and what she says is to come, but something about that lady, that prophetess on YouTube, something about her is false. But she's not lying about the things that she is seeing. The things that she is seeing is coming to pass. So I don't mean I'm not. There's something. I did say that something is off about something is false about that person, but at the same time, she is saying a lot of truth about what she's seen about Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris, according to her prophecies, is God's judgment on United States of America. It's God's judgment on United States of America. So, but a lot of these so-called black women are going to be excited about Kamala Harris because I hear them calling her a black woman. Uh, she's not. I consider a child is who their mother is. A child is heavily influenced by their mother, and her mother is an Indian woman. That's her nationality. Well, it says American, but anyway, her mother is Indian. Uh, Kamala Harris' mother. Okay. Yeah. Was a biomedical scientist at the Lawrence Berkeley National whose work in isolating the characterized. Here's her mother. Let me just show you. Oh heck! I hit the doggone keys. Shyamala. So I see that's where they got Kamala from. Shyamala. Kamala. Uh, Gopalan Harris is the father's name. This is her picture. I can easily confuse her for a light skin. I can't get a clear. It look blurry. I can confuse her for a light skin black woman, so called black women. I would just think she was a light skin, but that woman is where is she born? Chennai. That's why I stayed about 80 miles from Chennai. I was in Auroville, India, in 2018. I was there for about 3 months, and so yeah, I'm familiar with Chennai. That's where she's from. Chennai. Let me push this back. Chennai, India. Chennai. Chennai, India. That's where she's from. Then she moved to Oakland, California, and that's I guess that's where she had Kamala. She died February 11, 2009. She was 71 years old. She was born in 1938 in Chennai. She's Indian. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Let me read. It said that most dangerous place for. Mhm. Yeah, I seen that post. The worst place for African American is in the black womb. The worst place for a baby or something is in the womb, in the black womb. You know why? I feel like I learned not to get I learned not to get offended by that because for me, so-called black women in the United States of America have been under so much pressure. They don't get a lot of respect when they go in these hospitals. I want to say it's in New York City where there's a lot of black women who die after childbirth. Hold on a second. Black women, because it's not to they say those things to make people feel bad, but they're not giving a reason. Black women in the United States are Black women in the United States are 2 to 6 times more likely to die from pregnancy complications than white women, and the leading causes of maternal death are treatable conditions. These deaths are caused can be caused by a combination of factors, including, let's look this up, discrimination and disrespect. That's why it's dangerous, because the stuff that she puts up with over here. That's why it's dangerous. So they want to talk about because something that she's the black woman got some kind of defect because she black, because her skin is dark skin. That's why it's dangerous. No, because of the stuff that she has to put up with in this world is why it's dangerous. Why she needs to go back to Parthenogenesis. That's why she can't get no respect. She needs to go back to giving birth without the help of sperm. Look like she ain't getting no support. Black women in the United States. Black women in the United States are 2 to 6 times more likely to die from pregnancy complications than white women, and the leading causes of maternal death are treatable conditions. And the leading causes of maternal death are treatable conditions. These deaths can be caused by a combination of factors including cardiovascular issues. Black women are more likely to die from cardiovascular issues like blood clots, hemorrhages, and high blood pressure, both during pregnancy and after giving birth. Discrimination and disrespect. Black women are more likely to experience discrimination and disrespect, which can contribute. Hold on a second. I'm trying to move this phone, which can contribute to maternal deaths. For example, some families say that healthcare providers ignore or dismiss their concerns, and that if they listen to them, I know you can't hardly see it, if they listen to them, problems would not turn into emergencies. Okay? Because they want to make it seem like black women keep having abortions. Which one is it though? Are black women having a whole lot of abortions, or are they having 50, 11 kids? But for right here, this is what it seems like right here. This seems like it's the biggest reason why the most dangerous place for a baby to be is in the womb of the black woman. For these reasons right here. Not because she's black. See, people want to demonize black women. delayed or misdiagnosis, implicit bias, and systematic racism can lead to delayed or misdiagnosis, which can be life or death for treatable conditions. For example, one woman wasn't taken seriously about her abdominal pain, vomiting, and worsening contractions until her baby's heart rate plummeted. See, that's why it's a difference. That's why it's dangerous for a baby to be in her womb because she's treated like shit. That's why. Let me start over again. Delayed or misdiagnosis, implicit bias, and systematic racism can lead to delayed or misdiagnosis, which can be life or death for treatable conditions. For example, one woman wasn't taken seriously about her abdominal pain, vomiting, and worsening contractions until her baby's heart rate plummeted and she was rushed into surgery for an emergency cesarean section. I want to get to that. They are forcing women into cesarean sections. First of all, I've already heard it's not even a natural birth for her to be laying on her back with her legs on stirrups. I heard that's not even natural. But now they forcing these women into a cesarean section, almost like they did not want to take her seriously on purpose to force her into a cesarean section. You know, but yeah, but yeah. So that's why it's dangerous. Maternal sepsis is the leading cause of maternal mortality in America. Yeah. So anyway, I want to talk about that really quickly. I wouldn't want to. I've never given birth to a child, and I would not want to risk giving birth to a child in this type of climate where Black women are so severely hated. I wouldn't even want to risk it. I don't want to. I don't want to give birth to a child in this particular type of climate. But no, that's all I wanted to talk about. I really wanted to just talk about parthenogenesis. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just reading here. Yeah, her mother is Indian. I'm reading through the comments because I couldn't. I was looking at my computer and I couldn't see all the comments here. Only thing, Black women. Okay, the 2025 and 30 project will affect Black women and women. Okay, she said that also Black women need to fight for their rights in America with voting Democrat. Black women, the Black women are not going to win by voting Democrat. What Black women need to do is get back up in frequency, back to who she needs to remember who she is. Black women need to remember who they are. But not all so-called Black women that we see as so-called Black women in this physical type of realm, not all of them are the same. Like I said, a lot of them are succubuses. A lot of them are not my friend. So they're not all the same. But just still, they need to get back to knowing who they are. And stop trusting these people. These people do not have their own best interests at heart. Not even other so-called Black women even have their own interests at heart. They really need to get back to just who they are, really for me just focus on themselves. Um, it says the patriarchy came from gay black men during the beginning of time. I have to receive. I have to get some more information on that. Um, mm, yeah, and a lot of these people in their videos, I don't want to look. I don't look at them. But yeah, that's all I have to talk about. I just want to go over that really quickly, and that'll be it. You know, black people have yet to, so-called black people have yet to see their era in how they even got here in the first place. Because I often feel like what you call white people are really just the shadows of black people. Like I feel like I don't feel like this. I've seen it because I've seen the higher realms and these much higher these higher realms like the I would call Sirius B and maybe I think Sirius A. You didn't see a lot of white people. So I saw mostly so-called black people or brown people because, like I say, I don't think they call themselves black in these realms. That's not what they call themselves. So what did they do to fall in frequency till they get to this kind of level where they're even mistreated by white people? See, uh, so-called black people never want to take accountability for how they even got to this point, but it's because a lot of them lost their memories. But I'm going to say a whole lot of so-called black women lost their memories. But a lot of black men, they ain't lost their memories. They're not the ones that sleep. The ones that are asleep are black women. Black men ain't sleep. Okay, and from what I've even seen online, they continue to want to control the minds of black women and feed them a bunch of stuff to keep their minds off themselves. You know, to keep them from getting back to who they are, to keep them from rising up in frequency and keeping their mind on, just the black man being king. You know, and like I said, I don't see. I'm not bashing black men, but I just have to say things the way I see it when it comes to black so-called black men and so-called black women. I just have to say things the way I see it. But I've noticed that they don't want to see where they went wrong. How did you fall in frequency? You hear a lot of so-called black people talk about how they used to be cosmic beings. Well, if you were cosmic beings and you existed in this reality, how did you fall? Why don't so-called black people take responsibility for the fall of Atlantis? Um, a lot of people were involved in a lot of sorcery. Now I'm gonna say this. I'm working on myself internally to get all the visions that I need to talk about this. Atlantis, I don't want Atlantis to rise back up. Atlantis was a motherfucker. Atlantis was a motherfucker. Um I heard this lady prophesy this. Like I say, she don't hear anything wrong. I feel like she tells the truth. But there's still something false about her, even though she says a lot of things that she says is true. But anyway, she talked about how God told her about Atlantis and how they practiced a lot of sorcery in Atlantis. Now, the one thing that I knew about Atlantis that I heard about is that the humans were heavily dependent on technology, and it got to the point where technology were more advanced than a human, and a human was not rising up in consciousness. They were depending on technology, and then technology was becoming more dominant the way you see right now. And that was the fall of Atlantis, that there was no evolution with the humans rising back up to the levels of the soul. Instead, they were putting all their trust in technology. But what this lady also said was a lot of people in Atlantis was heavily involved in sorcery and all kinds of dark magic. And a lot of the but the what do you call it, fallen angels or whoever were having sex with the women, and the women were giving birth to hybrids. Could that have been the Nephilim? I don't know. Could that have been the Nephilim? You know, so the Atlantis needed to come down. I don't want that back. But anyway, oh, there's a channel named Dark Masculine Karmic. I don't look at these people. I thought you were asking me about the dark masculine. I thought you were asking me to talk about the dark masculine. This is a channel named Dark Masculine Karmic. I don't look at these guys. Let me tell you something. I rarely look at these guys' channels. I don't want to give them my attention or my energy. I don't like looking at them. And he disrespects black women. Of course he does. And black women need to get, so-called black women need to get to a point where they can't reconcile with them. They're not going to be able to reconcile with them because these entities are using the portals. They're using the so-called black women as portals just to come through so they can continue to exist, so they don't go extinct. I really feel like during the time way before humans even existed, they were about to go extinct then, and somehow they were able to. I don't know. I need more information. I don't want to say too much, but a lot of these black men know though. They know everything. They know. Malachi Z. York knows because he comes from the place that a lot of this stuff kind of happened. A lot of these black men know, and they want to pull the wool over black women's eyes. And that's why listen. That's why it just needs to be a separation. It ain't no unity. And some people might think I'm wrong for saying that, like, oh, you're bad for the black community. Oh, I'm not interested in the black community. Because it's just been made clear to me over and over and over again that there is no reconciliation. Where these men come from is not the same place that a lot of black women come from. These men are they are, before they became a human, they were something else, and they're using these women as portals so they can continue to exist. But now I feel like it's time up for them. It's not going to happen anymore because um, what we see with a lot of the, I'm gonna say LGBT and transgender, nothing against anybody who's a transgender. This is not a personal attack, but I think it's like it's an end. It's actually a way of putting the end to the existence of black men because black women can continue to exist, and a lot of them don't understand that because they're in the low frequency where they are not tapping into higher lights of information. They're in the low frequency where they don't even know that there was a time where they were able to give birth without the help of the sperm. Okay, they come under this oppression because this is oppression. This particular realm is oppression, and they don't remember anything. That's why I call them asleep. But the black men, they are not asleep. The black women are asleep. Black men are not asleep. Everything they do is on purpose, and I do not trust them. I've been seeing time and time again in the astral realm the things that they do, the things that they've done to me to do everything to make sure in the astral. Men I never met before, men I've never seen. I'm not talking about nobody who's done anything to me in the physical. This is stuff I see in the astral. I see them in different dimensions. Stuff that they do to make sure I don't rise. All this stuff that they do. They are the ones that's behind the computers. They're the ones that's messing with the codes. Changing codes. Because we're made up of codes. A lot of them are the ones behind this. I see them behind their laptops. I see them with the computers. I see what they're doing. I see their sorcery and their spell work and their witchcraft to use all this magic against black women to make sure black women don't rise up. Yeah, you got Latina women, you got white women, you got everybody that's doing it. But a lot of them, white women know who black women are too, so they want to make sure. A lot of white women want to make sure black women don't rise up either. But no. I've seen too much with these black men that I realize it's not all of them are like that, but at this time, the ones that are not like that are still going to stick up for their brethren. And so they're going to have to be lumped in too because the ones that might not be doing those things are still going to defend the ones that are for the sake of their own gender. And for that reason, they just going to be lumped in anyway. But I'm about to get off. Anyway, that's it. I'm about to go. Uh, and I will talk some other time. I will talk later. All right.